Hey there, fellow healthcare workers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Endzone 2, Episode 3, Medicine and Healthcare.
Now the newly obtained clay has to be fired into bricks. The Brickworks does this. It's best if you place it near the clay pit.
All clear.
Alright, fire the bricks. So Brickworks does not require knowledge points, but it does require 10 clay, so I won't be able to build it until I get 10 clay. So it's going to be a minute
New
for
instructions?
research.
Apparently, this construction site was converted into a clay pit after the catastrophe. It's abandoned now. Maybe we can get it back in operation again.
So
Looks
these
interesting.
expedition points are interesting because, if I'm not mistaken, this will generate clay periodically over time. So, a huge benefit to get ones like these up and running. Especially given that clay is so manual labor intensive otherwise.
Looks interesting.
We have a generator. I need fuel for it.
We'll pack it. Done. This old trailer was fitted with new tires. Apparently, someone used that thing to transport clay. Unfortunately, it's useless now. Will do.
What am I missing for fuel?
I'll take a look. This half of the bucket belongs to the crane. Maybe it can be attached. This half of the bucket belongs to the crane. Maybe it can be attached. Will do. Someone has used this generator to power the crane. The generator is running. The crane is supplied with power again and is ready for use.
Alright, nice.
The crane is still usable. We can rotate it. That worked.
Alright, let's attach the bucket
I'll take
now.
a look. This half of the bucket belongs to the crane. Maybe it can be attached. The bucket headstock is intact again. The generator is running. The crane is supplied with power again and is ready for use. The pit is free and clear now. The pit is free and clear now. The pit is free and clear now.
We have now
Can't do it like this.
built a clay pit.
I'll take a look.
We uncovered some stuff in there. Plastic,
On the road.
some clay, and some scrap,
That worked.
and a barrel of something.
I'll pack that.
Scrap and plastic. What we dug up is far less important than the fact that now we have a working clay pit. So, one of the things to note is
Engine
it
running.
has left an icon on the minimap, and this icon represents the fact that it is a production facility. So here, you can see it is generating clay, and that clay is now lootable when the Pathfinder swings by. So it is a income of clay. It does need to be manually
instructions?
collected by vehicles, though. I think it can have a transport route, though. It would tie up my Pathfinder, so I'm not going to set one up. But I could set it up so that the resource mine loads clay, then unloads that clay at Yodaville. And I could assign a vehicle to it like this, and then if I hit accept, it would automatically send my Pathfinder to collect the clay at the pit and dump it off at Yodaville. I just
Where
don't
are
have
we
spare
going?
vehicles, so it's not something I'm going to be doing. But the clay that we
New
did loot,
instructions?
the 20 clay that we did loot, will allow us to unlock Brickworks. So brickworks, just like the charcoal kilns, nobody wants to live near it other than the industrial house types. And I'm going to send the Pathfinder back out to collect the first batch of clay and then continue exploring.
New instructions?
Any other research grabbable? Not from this facility, no.
Where are we going?
Oh, you mean in general? I'm going to let the tutorial decide that.
Got it? Engine running. Let's go.
As you can see, not all ruins are on the road. This was just like some swamp shack that had resources.
All clear.
Here's another little swampy area that has
go.
resources. So bushwhacking and yield results. All right, brickworks is done. 3 brick workers. The issue is I don't have free labor for that, so I'm going to back off scrapyard.
As you see, the brickworks begins to work right away when coal and clay are made available to it. The manufacturing of bricks needs a lot of manpower. But before you build new houses, bear in mind that, in addition to more water and food, more inhabitants need more protective clothing too. Creating a settlement is a complicated venture, isn't it?
On my...
Okay, and so I built enough shelters for the next part of the tutorial, but what I don't have is a increasing stock of water, which should be pretty easy to do. Now that I have a few more free manpower. So it might mean getting another jetty, because I think jetty workers are more efficient than well workers. So let's build a second jetty. So I want the second jetty to not be too close to the original one, and it will probably need its own cistern. So this is as close as it can be. Hook this this second jetty up to the same road network, and then to probably build a cistern out this way so that the next cistern can support the original, the second jetty and a third jetty if I need a third jetty at any point. So just future planning a bit. And that will help with the increasing stocks of water.
Engine running.
Oh, this looks like an expedition, maybe?
Let's go.
No, just a room.
All clear. I'm at the wheel.
Ooh, it's like a small town.
Got it?
All right, with that second jetty built and all the adjacency bonuses, we should have positive water in just a second. So I was down by 36, so this just needs to manufacture more than 36, which should be water positive.
You're
now.
doing just fine. If I'm too fast for you or something goes wrong, then let me wait and take care of the survival of our settlement. Build, when necessary, new jetties, wells, fisheries, and so on to safeguard the supply situation. Besides radiation, the health of a settlement can become a problem too. The more settlers, the faster a settlement's state of health can change. The first thing you ought to do is to build a swamp farm and grow herbs there.
Explore swamp farm, build one, instruct the swamp farm to lay out cultivation area, assign swamp farmers, and achieve a positive inventory stock of herbs. So this costs 15 bricks, which I currently don't have, and also a knowledge point, but I've already acquired the knowledge points. So essentially, I need as many brick workers as possible in order to get the swamp farm unlocked. I have 4 of the 15 required.
New instructions?
Other things to note, through the resource scavenging that I've done, I've sort of maxed out on scrap and nearly maxed out on wood, so I can reduce the amount of workers for those 2 things for now, putting them instead in capping out the amount of water that I've stockpiled, and possibly also the amount of food that I've stockpiled. Food and water is always useful to have stockpiled for preparation for calamities. So if you get hit by a drought, for instance, having a giant stockpile of food and water is useful because the fisheries and water jetties aren't going to be available to use during a drought.
Where are we going?
There is 25 clay to be picked
Engine
up
running.
in the local clay pit. Give you an idea of how, like, I get 2 a minute from the 3 clay diggers here. I'm going to fire my clay diggers because this clay pit makes clay faster.
Where are we going?
So it doesn't really make sense to have people manually digging it when I have a crane over here doing it for free.
All clear.
It will require me to micromanage a little bit the clay supply, but you know, that's fine.
Engine running.
One thing I can build in advance is a materials depot near where we are going to be collecting herbs. And that would help with the stockpile of scrap and wood maxing out. The issue with the scrap and wood
Engine
maxing out
running.
is if the Pathfinder finds wood and scrap, there's nowhere to dump it when I come back home if the stockpiles are full. And the tailor workshop isn't making any more masks. I don't have enough coal for it, so I'll fire up some more coal, which should help with the stockpiles of wood being too high.
Engine running.
Oh, I do have coal for it. Why isn't the... What's with the mask slowdown? I'm not sure why it's 0 a minute. I'll troubleshoot that later.
New instructions?
An old depot. We should take a look around inside. Maybe we'll find something useful we can take with us.
One thing I didn't
I'll
do...
take this with me.
is leave the base with tools. I see that there's a safe here, so I'm probably going to have to
I'll take this with me.
come back and loot the safe separately.
Jerry cans with gasoline in them are lying here. Can we use them? The generator's running and supplying electricity. Let's go. I'm in. This chest is locked tight. We won't be able to open it without some effort.
I'm
Okay.
at the wheel.
I'll have to come back, because I forgot to leave the base with tools.
Got it?
This very well might be a bug, so I think what I'm going to do is save and load. I don't know why the mass production froze. There's space in the depot and resources and manpower available, and it isn't moving. So, do a save and load. See if that resolves the issue. Worst case scenario, I can always build a new tailoring. Just destroy the last one and build it new. Maybe that would resolve it too. Says it lacks resources. I have cloth and I have coal. So I kind of don't think that that's true. Alright, let's blow it up. Because I have 90 of each. Which is why I think it's lying. Alright, let's go back for that safe before I forget about it. So grabbing... I'm going to grab 20 tools so I can handle 2 saves. Because that might not be the only safe in town.
All clear.
And I have almost acquired all the bricks I need to research the swamp farm. That will be coming up in just... Oh, yep, there it is. Okay. Build that swamp farm now. It works... Oh, so the swamp farm itself also... What am I missing here? It needs to be placed on the swamp. Done. And then once it's built, it's set up the same way as the plantation, with a zone of fields that it
We should
mines,
take a look around
or,
inside.
plants.
Maybe we'll find something useful we can take with us. This chest, these documents are very instructive. Our experts at home can surely learn a thing or two from them.
Where are we going?
I got some decontamination kits from that. That's nice.
On my way.
See if there's anything else in town.
All clear.
As far as I can tell, I think
Let's
I
go.
looted this whole town. I'll poke about a little
Got
bit more, but I think we're done here. I'm going to drop those kits off now, which helps protect
On
us
my
from
way.
contamination. Alright, so here's the swamp.
If a settlement's state of health declines, then the risk of sicknesses increases. But we're not able to use the herbs raw. First, they have to be processed into medicine. That's done by the pharmacist, who requires plastic and herbs to do it.
There we go. We're actually manufacturing masks now. Not gloves. Oh, because I don't have rubber. So I'll just do double masks for now. I think the changing of recipes somehow messed this up. Yeah, that seems to be the case. It's not swapping between recipes correctly. Okay, well, I'll blow that one up. At least we're making masks again. And then once I have the production chain for rubber, the other one will resolve. As I said in the details command, this is a like pre-early access, like alpha, if you will. So like bugs are honestly to be expected.
Engine running.
Let's drop those 2 iron tools. That's fine. And go out to the clay mine to pick up some more clay, because there's 30 available for us. So researching pharmacists costs herbs and bricks. So we still need more bricks for that. I'll put more people working at the brickworks. At least our mask manufacturing is back up. Good. And then the pharmacy itself costs vaccine ampules, but not bricks. So as soon as we get 10 bricks, I can unlock the pharmacist. And then it also requires herbs. So I'll put more people working in the swamp farm.
Engine running. On my way. All clear.
All right.
Engine running.
Let's see if we could find more ruins while we're out here. But I did get them bricks required for the pharmacist, just not the herb. So we're waiting on herb up to 25. And we have 3 people working in it. So the one thing it doesn't have, however, is a road connection. That's one of the benefits I could gain. There. Now we're getting herbs as fast as we can.
New instructions?
An old depot. We should take a look around inside. Maybe we'll find something useful we can take with us. Will do.
All right. We've seen depots like this before. And this time I remember bringing tools, so it should be a little bit easier to loot.
I'll pack that. Jerry cans with gasoline in them are lying here. Can we... The generator's running and supplying electricity. That worked. Looks interesting. This chest is locked. These documents are very instructive. Our experts at home can surely learn a thing or two from them.
Nice. We have filled up the Pathfinder completely and walked away with more decontamination kits, which helps with our radiation protection, which is good. The one thing I wonder which will be whether or not will be included in the full game is whether or not you can lock any radiation protection from being used or not. Because at least for now, I can manufacture the activated carbon masks, but I cannot manufacture the decontamination kits. So I kind of wish that my settlers would only use the masks, but as far as I could tell, that isn't something that I can do. Meaning, it's a finite resource that gets exhausted, whether I like it or not.
On my way.
Only 5 more herbs to go, and then we'll have the pharmacist up. I am in food negative and water negative, though, and it would be worth trying to balance those out a little bit better. And we might be getting to the point, because I have a really high tool production, to back off on the amount of foragers that I'm using, because foraging is an inefficient food source, and relying more on fisheries, because they're more efficient. Because it seems like manpower is more of a bottleneck than tools are. And I don't really mind being in scrap negative, because our scraps is... Actually, I'm just going to turn off the scrapyard. We have so much scrap that it's actually becoming a problem. Alright, pharmacy time. So there's a benefit putting the pharmacist next to the swamp farm, and also a depot, a materials depot. So plop it right here. Seems reasonable. And let's assign those 2 pharmacists. Done.
New instructions?
The medicine is ready and waiting, but now we still have to hand it out to the settlers. This doesn't happen automatically. Handing out medicine takes place via the pharmacy. It supplies all the dwellings in its surrounding area with medicine, provided that there is any.
So next, we need the pharmacy, and that costs 10 vaccine ampules. So I have just added extra pharmacists to manufacture them as soon as possible so that we can unlock that tech.
New instructions? Let's go.
We're sitting on a pretty decent amount of clay at the moment, so I'm not too worried about immediately running back with the clay I just
There's
grabbed.
a converted buggy standing in this garage. We ought to take a closer look at it. The best would be if we try to lower the car lift somehow. I'll pack that.
It's funny that you're mentioning that there's gasoline still found in canisters. I'm also finding meals out here too. Although to be fair, maybe it's biodiesel. As far as the game's concerned, these were inhabited at some
Jerry
point.
cans with gasoline in them are lying here. Can we use them?
So yeah, it could very well just be like self-made biodiesel.
I'll take a look. The generator's running and supplying electricity. The mattress hasn't been used for a while, but whoever fixed up their cars here lived here for a spell too. Sure is lonesome out here. That's a really unusual construction design. The vehicle's not fit to drive anymore, but maybe our experts at home can do something with it. Where are we going?
It is a common video game trope, right? That like gasoline is like shelf stable. It's funny, I actually recently had to buy a siphon because someone that I was friends with in the area moved away and didn't want to move their lawnmower, but I didn't use it all winter. And then when I fired it up, it obviously had just spoiled gasoline in it, which is why I didn't start. So I had to buy a siphon to be able to siphon out the bad gasoline out of the lawnmower to be able to get it to run. So yes, like gasoline does spoil IRL, but in video games, not so much. All right, we have the vaccine ampules now for the pharmacy. And then the pharmacy, and this is why I like to cluster houses together. The pharmacy has a sphere of influence effect for work, as you can see. So if I hadn't clustered my houses together, the benefit of the pharmacy would be lost on all the houses that fall out of the region. So there's, as I said at the start of the stream, there are different strategies for how to lay out a town, but I kind of like a central location like this so that the houses can benefit from a pharmacy and markets and things like that, rather than industrial benefits. I'd rather have like a healthier society than more resources. It's really what it comes down to.
When enough settlers have access to medical care, a zone's state of health will stabilize itself. Although this doesn't rule out the outbreak of sicknesses, it does make sure that our settlement can overcome the sickness much better. Besides radiation and health, you ought to pay attention to our settlers' confidence as well. If the mood is not good, this leads to problems. Settlers can sweeten up their lives with a bit of luxury at a marketplace. Like the pharmacy, the market supplies all dwellings in its surrounding area.
So one thing to note here, the pharmacy can distribute goods to the area depending on how many vaccine ampules you have, and the same is also true of the market. So if you are running into shortages, you can always turn off the pharmacy and turn off the market. Just to keep that in mind, they're like dials that you can throw. So let's go get the market now. So once I have a few more bricks, we'll be able to build a market. And what the market does is well, I'll let the tutorial say once we get there.
New instructions?
And let's keep exploring with the Pathfinder. Because I wonder if it will be included in the full game, whether the Pathfinder needs supplies like gasoline or fuel or food or water or anything like that. But at least for now, it runs for free and gets things
All clear.
really easily. Of course, there is a finite amount of resources out there. And before I depart, I should also probably grab 10 tools.
Got it.
It's pretty common that we find safes out there that need cracking.
Let's go.
But now that we have the pharmacy up, the state of the health for everybody living in Yodaville is going up as a result of having access to the vaccine ampules and the pharmacy and the apothecary and the swamp and all that stuff. So, good news for them. Now, building a market. And luckily, all the houses fall under the sphere of influence of the market. Just barely, but they do. I don't have any builders at the moment because everybody's employed.
New instructions?
So
On my
the
way.
smiley face is not happiness, it's confidence. It's essentially confidence in your leadership, which is more or less happiness or morale or
Got
whatever
it.
you want to call it.
This country house is still in good shape. We ought to take a look around and see if we find anything useful here. Let's go. We won't get the door open with bare hands. We should look around here for... There's an axe here. Maybe we can still put it to good use. I'll pack that.
Ooh, radiation masks.
Hey, There's something very interesting here. We have to take a closer look at it later.
Nice.
Engine running.
Oops.
New instructions?
Let's bring all that stuff back home. All right, so the market is almost done. I wouldn't mind getting another house or two. I'll plop this one right next to the market.
The market uses up a lot of food. When food starts to run out, you can give the market a pause to conserve resources. That might heat up tempers, but survival is still the most important issue. Besides radiation, the environment can punish us with long dry spells too. We have to prepare ourselves well for a drought like that and make sure to stockpile sufficient water and food.
The weather seems to be changing. We ought to prepare ourselves for a drought. We're better off stockpiling sufficient water and food so that we're well equipped.
So, one of the things you'll note is that having the market run makes people happy, raises their confidence, but it does grind through food quite quickly, because it's essentially distributing like extra rations for morale, or for confidence. The next goal here is to stockpile 3,000 food and water, or 3,000 water and 2,000 food to prepare for a drought. So adding some additional water cisterns to increase our storage capacity, and food capacity. And to actively work on this, it's probably best to just crank up the amount of people working in those facilities as well. So I'm going to reduce the tailor down to 1 and increase... I'll probably want a second fishery, actually, and to make sure it does not suffer an adjacency penalty to the other one. So let's go ahead and remove a little bit of this road so it fits. Because I have plenty of tools, and the fastest way to get a lot of food is to just fish for it, rather than to forage for it, because foraging is slower. Alright, so second fishery, and then there is the food depot that I have here isn't in the sphere of influence of the fishery, so I'll set up another food depot over here, laying it out in such a spot that it can benefit from a third fishery if I need to. I don't think it will be necessary, but, you know, just in case. So once that's built, I'm going to get people employed in it. We probably can reduce the amount of people working in the weaving mill. One of the disadvantages of the weaving mill, of course, is the weaving mill uses a lot of water. So the fewer people working in the weaver mill, the more easily I'm going to be able to stockpile the water anyway. And then I have plenty of plastic at the moment, so I'm going to turn off the recycler. I'm going to keep the woodcutter lodge going, but I can probably reduce the amount of people working in the tree nursery down to 1. I still want an income of tools, but I do have a nice stockpile of charcoal, and because I'm not making as many charcoal masks, I can reduce that. I can also essentially fire everyone out of the brickworks. Let's just not work on brickworks for now, and solely prepare for the drought that is coming, which also means reducing the swamp. And I do want to keep the pharmacy going at full rate, though. So I have 18 free workers, and I'm going to be prioritizing mostly just food and water so that we can stockpile it. So let's get 2 more cisterns, and I would also like to get more pump heads so that when the drought does come, I can draw water from the swamps. So hooking up a road network to the wells. And then I think this road network needs a water cistern, but the goal is to build extra water cisterns anyway, so I mean, that's fine. And then some additional food depots. And one could imagine... Yeah, let's go ahead and set up another forager up here to work the northern woods. Setting up a food depot to supply it. And then a road so that it benefits from adjacency. That's a lot of water workers. It's weird that it's telling me that I have low water reserves. Like, I don't think that that's true.
I'm at the wheel.
So it wants me to get the water up to 3,000. We're gaining 225 a minute. So I think water's pretty set. So once this is built, I'll... Oh, that's a food depot. That's not what I meant to build. Shoot. Let's demolish that. I meant for a foragers. So I need one more water cistern. Let's build a water cistern up here because it's there's some swampland up there that I could take advantage of for another well if I need it. So it's difficult to stockpile food when you're distributing it through a market. But I'm going to keep the market running anyway, just for the added challenge, because, you know, might as well. Alright, that's almost deconstructed and out of the way. Good.
I'm at the wheel.
The clay pit here maxes out at 50 clay, so if I don't regularly grab the clay, it doesn't produce anymore. So it's useful to just like periodically go and grab it. And I might want a third fishing dock just to really crank the food gain up so that I can hit the numbers we're looking for. All right, so the game wants me to build one more cistern and one more oh no, I have 5 cisterns built. I think one's in progress. Or maybe I built one and destroyed one. Whatever, I'll just make sure that number is up to 5. So we'll build another cistern up here for theoretical water jetties that I could build. And then for the extra food depot, I could maybe build one here for theoretical food collector foragers that I could build up there. But I do need more wood. I ran out. I ran low.
Where are we going? All clear.
Thank you for tuning in to a first look at Endzone 2's pre-release demo, which originally streamed live on Twitch June 4th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, and you can also find a link to Patreon there as well. Thank you so very much for tuning in. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow survivors of the Endzone.